Hello!
Morning!
We are live. I've got Mom in the house again today. Trusty old Lee called it here. She's been in Cape Town for a couple of weeks, so it's been nice to have her on all the meal prep Mondays with me. But it's the last you'll see her for a little while because she's jetting back to Joburg.
Well, no, look, I'm looking forward to it in one way, but I'm going to miss all the fun and all the snow and all this lovely weather here.
Yeah.
Today is chilly.
Today is fresh. So swipe in and say hi. Let us know if you are here. Let me just refresh these comments quickly so we can see who's logging in. Yeah, so it's been a pretty epic weekend. For anyone that's logging in yet, how was your weekend? Did you get to do something fun with the family? Hello, Pat, Auntie Pat. She's always here. She's on every show. She's so amazing. She shows so much support, and she just absolutely loves it. Hello, Lisa. Nice to see you all here. Hello, Leslie. Yeah, it's nice to have Mom here. We've been having some fun in the kitchen, definitely on the baking side of things with our orange and biscotti we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last week we did sweeter muffins. Today we've got savoury muffins.
So they're delicious.
So we tested out a couple of those yesterday. We've been tweaking and playing around with the recipe, but it's been super fun. Obviously, Mom's got a few tips up her sleeve, that I love to learn from, so it makes things a little easier. Little tricks of the trade that hopefully we'll get to show you a couple of those little tools, cutting through with a knife and,
Actually, very simple. That's all it is at the end of the day. Simple.
The gentler, the better for muffins, we hear. So we had last week was our blender muffin recipes, where it was a bit fast and furious, pop it in the blender and off you go, nice and easy, high fiber. This week we're going to take a little bit more of a gentler approach, but still looking at the fiber intake with a little bit of different flours and that kind of thing, and just looking at fresh veggies and things from the garden. We'll just wait a couple of minutes for everyone to check in and say hi. Hello Eva, hello Maki, hello Karen. I don't know what you guys got up to this weekend, but other than baking, I don't know who of you in the Western Cape or Cape Town area dashed off to go and see the snow. I did, like a crazy person, along with I think half of Cape Town. We jumped in the car at 7 o'clock yesterday morning and we zooted off to Matroosburg. We managed to get into the reserve and we took my hubby's 4x4 all the way up to the top. He's not here, so I managed to drive his car for a change. But it was a quick
mean machine.
It was a quick learning curve, learning how to let the tires down, engage it into low range, get the diffs on and off and up we went. But we succeeded. We got all the way to the top, so I must say I'm very chuffed. And the kids loved the snow. I mean, it was thick, it was amazing. For those that couldn't get into the reserve, you could just pull over on the side of the road. Everyone was making snowmen and building them on their dashboards and stuff and then driving along and there's melting snowmen, like lots of off everywhere.
So festive.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see who else is here. Hello Razia, hello Shani, how's it Candace? So a couple of us have all logged in. Let us know how your weekends went. If you got up to anything or if it's nice and chilly where you are. I must say I'm looking forward to spring. Although I don't know what weather Wednesday is going to bring us for the 1st of September. There's a cold front, there's more snow apparently coming tomorrow.
And my husband's got an annual group every year on the 1st of September, regardless of the weather, that they have to swim. And they're people all over the country. And last year was Muizenberg, freezing. So Wednesday's going to be another fun morning.
Yeah, take him to a time. Do a little quick dip there, but it's the summer,
quick.
The spring swim, and you have to take photographic evidence as proof and send it to all your mates. So, it's quite a lot of bit of fun. How many years has that tradition been going on?
Oh, I can't even, I've lost count, but from East London days, so it's more than 20 years.
Yeah, how's that, okay? Not 1 year missed. Let's see who else is here. So, just to chat a little bit more about, how's it, Lauren? Okay, cool. Well, while everybody starts getting going, let's look at start tackling these muffins. So what we wanted to do for today was provide you with a simple base recipe that was nice, sort of high in fiber, using 2 different flours. and bringing in a little bit more of a protein content within some yogurt and the eggs and everything. And then we're going to show you 2 variations to flavor those up. You can obviously choose a lot more variations. We've just been looking at using the free veg that we've got available to us so that we can keep the fat, starch, and protein portions much the same. So that you can play around to suit your flavor. And also by flavoring them with fresh herbs is definitely a winner. You can change the flavor profiles as well quite nicely. So I think we should get going. And we'll have to see if we can bake these in time. Otherwise, what I'll do is after this this live air, I will show you pictures of the final products that came out of the oven. But we did save some muffins from yesterday's bake just to show you a little teaser as to one of the flavor creations we're going to make today. Hopefully you can see that okay. So this version here is spinach, feta, and red pepper with a bit of dill. These are super delicious and moist. I mean, these things, even my kids ate them for breakfast this morning. Really, really yummy. So, and also a little tip that Mom will chat to us about later when we're spooning it into the muffin tray is, unlike the muffins we did last week where we popped them into muffin cases, let us know why it's better to try and do it in a hot, really well greased baking tin.
Yeah, so just a metal baking tin, just the ordinary one you have, just oil it with spray and cook of whatever sorts. You end up getting a nice crispy edge to the muffin like that, whereas cases, you've got a casing around and it's just the texture's different, and the heat also I think produces a much better product. So, and they're easy to slip out of here. There's no mission to get them out. And once they're cooled, because they've got that nice crispy edge, the flavor's hugely better, and they also warm up beautifully.
So there's a little tip. Rather use a really nice greased baking tin and you get them nice and crispy, a little bit more color and flavor, yeah. How's it, Amber? Oh, that's one of my friends. Nice to see you here. How's it, Tony? Thanks for swiping in. Hello, Shani. Right, I think we are ready. Let's get to it. So we'll start with making the base recipe, into which we put 2 eggs. I'm going to grab the bowl there. Yeah. Get the mixer here. We've got 2 eggs going in there.
These are out of the garden, out of Kim's chicken hook.
Freshly hatched this morning.
They're large.
Yeah, these might be a little on the larger side. The jar, a normal sort of a large to an extra large egg would work well. I think these are almost jumbo size.
Just beat them lightly with a whisk. You don't have to go overboard, just as long as the mixtures are combined.
Okay. To that, we're going to add half a cup of milk and a 1/4 cup of low-fat plain yogurt. We've just popped them both in the same bowl together, but those will just get whisked carefully into there. Looking good.
Yeah.
And then into that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of melted butter, or you could substitute this with coconut oil, sunflower oil, canola oil,
olive oil.
Yeah. You can decide which is your preference and maybe what you've got in the cupboard. Butter's nice because it gives that rich creaminess, nice sort of a little bit of extra flavor, but again, it's whatever works for you. And to that, we're going to add half a cup. Oh, you want to add the cheese after? Okay. So with this, it's 2 cups of flour. We've decided to use self-raising flour, sorry, that is. We've decided to use a little bit of plain self-raising flour and a little bit of whole wheat self-raising flour, just to add a little bit more fiber. You can just use plain normal self-raising flour or any other flours that you might have in the cupboard, whether you're looking at a chickpea flour or anything else like that. Texture might change slightly, but yeah, we just thought we'd add a little bit more fiber and a little bit more sort of nutrients and things like that to our base, as we're trying to go healthy.
Yeah, so we're just now mixing the 2 flours together in the bowl, which is with 1 cup of each, and straight into the wet liquid. And to handle this as least as possible to keep them as light and not allow them to get gooey. So I just used a knife basically to just gently fold the wet and the dry together until it's just come together.
So you can just gently scraping it through. Maybe just now we can pull it up closer to the camera. Okay.
So it's just until
it starts to combine
together.
And remember, when we add the flavor ingredients to this, it's going to get mixed in a little bit more. So even if it's slightly undermixed now, it's also okay. But yeah, The gentler, the fluffier, and the lighter your muffins become.
That's pretty much it. There'll still be a little bit of wet and dry areas, but it'll combine when we've got the filling mixtures in.
Sorry, my camera's a bit blurry. Hopefully you can all see okay there. We'll put that to one side. And what we're going to do for today is for the two flavorings we're going to use, we're just going to do half a batch and half a batch just so that we don't end up with a million muffins like last week with all the different flavors. So
otherwise we have to eat them all.
Yeah.
Which isn't a problem actually.
No. So we're just going to split this base mixture in half, and then we're going to show you how we do the two ingredients. You can do that as well at home if you want to do 6 of one flavor and 6 of another, but I will be posting the recipe cards with the full ingredient list, and you can decide whether you want to make 12 muffins of one flavor or split the batches up. So while Mom does that,
I'm just going to put half into another.
Oh wait, we need to add the cheese.
Sorry. No, in goes the cheese.
All good. So we've added half a cup of grated cheddar. You can't have a savoury muffin without a little bit of cheese. So we did manage to factor this in to our recipe. Actually, yeah, they are delicious. The kitchen was smelling amazing when these came out of the oven from our little test run. So yeah, something nice. I don't know if you're a sweet or a savoury person in the mornings, but it's nice to have something like that as well. So, okay, so for our first flavour combination, we are going with some red pepper, fat-free feta, some spinach, and some spring onions. This is spinach that's come out the garden this morning. Thanks to
beautiful, lovely and tender young stems. If you can't find any really nice tender, don't use the big hard chunky kind. Rather use some baby leaf or some young tender ones from the shop.
Yeah, so try not the Swiss chard, because what we're doing with this is we're not wilting it down. We are chopping it super fine, and we're going to add it in fresh. That way we get to retain a lot of the nutrients, and it does also give a nice texture to the muffins. It stays nice and green and fresh looking as well. But the key is to use a nice soft leaf. So yeah, either if you've grown any spinach at home or some baby leaf spinach would also work really well. Just going to pop here and see who we've got chatting with us.
I'm just chopping it up really nice and fine.
So for our full recipe of 12 muffins, we would put in 2 cups of chopped spinach, but because we are doing a half batch, we're going to go with 1 cup of nice finely chopped spinach. So as you can see, Mom's going quite fine there. Really chop it nice and down, and obviously we've removed the stalks as well. Not too many crunchy bits in there. While we're waiting, how many of you have made muffins before, savoury muffins, and are there any flavour combinations that you really like? Obviously, there's nice baking ones and all of that. We'll, not maybe with the, trying to look at leaner cuts of meats and stuff is a good one. Bacon's more for one of those weekend treats. Right, that's looking pretty good.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, looks perfect. Right, so we've got a cup of chopped spinach.
Finely chopped spinach.
That's going into our mixture. And then to that, the full fat-free feta amount would be about 120 grams, which is approximately 2 rounds of feta. But we're just going to chuck in 1 round here, which is about 65 grams. We're going to add that. And that's our protein, a little bit of extra protein that we're adding to our muffin. And a nice bit of cheesy flavour. So I can chop that on my side.
This is the red pepper, just a half of an average size red pepper to go.
And then it's nice to flavour it up with some fresh herbs. So we haven't put onion into this base just because we're trying to make it simple, quick, and not needing to fry or cook anything beforehand. That all the ingredients are just fresh going in there. Obviously, just for more nutrients. There we go. Yeah, so Mom's chopped in a couple of baby spring onions. Oh, smelling so nice. And then I've kind of roughly chopped the feta just because it's nice to get a little chunk or two in there. and in goes the feta. And then, yeah, for flavouring, salt and pepper. I'd say about a teaspoon worth of salt, because it's nice to have that little bit of savoury kick, and obviously we're doing a little bit less cheddar cheese than a normal recipe. So this is where it's going to really bring out the flavour.
So a bit of freshly ground black pepper.
And then for any of you that might have this Mervamari salt, just go a little bit.
It's very nice. It can be bought at any health shop or Dischem. I'm not sure if Clicks have it, but it's a fabulous natural salt to use, which we're going to stick in here today. And we're going to put in roughly a teaspoon.
It's nice and low in sodium, but packed full of herbs and flavour, so it's also really nice.
And then whatever herbs you want to put into there.
Well, you did some dill yesterday, which was really nice. We'll do chili in our other one.
Yeah.
So nice fresh herbs from the garden as well, some fresh dill. It's apparently a very nice combination with spinach. We'll just chop up a little bit of that.
We'll put in a little bit of parsley, just a small bunch, and really it's just whatever herbs you have on hand or what you feel like adding. You can either add nothing or just put in whatever. There's a lot of options that you can put in.
That's what our next batch. Okay, fine. So do you want to get that a little quick mix through? So now we're just going to gently fold that through. You're going to use your knife. She's using your knife again. While she does that, let's have a look at some of the comments there. Lorraine, are you watching? Yes, you've made savoury muffins before. Awesome. Charlene, spinach and feta is a favourite. I know. That's why I'm so glad we're tackling one now that fits with our GF profile. And followed closely by cheese and paprika. Ooh, maybe we could do a dash of paprika on top of our next flavouring ingredient. I'm going to get that while we're there. Thanks for the tip. There we go. Any other tips and tricks are welcome from you all. And Lorraine, oh, you're loving the session. That's great. Michelle, you love experimenting with lots of healthy different ingredients. Yep. But these flavor combinations are all divine. So as you can see over here, I mean, that is just packed with flavor, color, just the nutrient profile. I mean, that is just so good. Vitamins, minerals, everything. So we'll pop that into the muffin tray just now. And then with the other half of the batch, we are going to do a baby marrow and cottage cheese, chili, and basil. So we've got the cottage cheese there for the protein boost again, like we had with the feta. This is an alternative. In this one, what flavor do we have? Spring onion. It's fat-free. Chives. It's a fat-free cottage cheese. You can use a plain version. You can use a slightly flavored version. Again, it's up to you. And then for the baby marrows, it's going to grate them first. Okay. Yes. Here's some tips and tricks for Mom. Are we going on a medium grate? So on like your medium-sized grater with the baby marrows, I'm just going to grate those in. The recipe is about a cup of grated baby marrows into the full recipe. So here we're going to go with about half a cup. My computer's beeping, so sorry about that noise. And then the trick to keeping these light and fluffy without them getting all soggy and everything is to squeeze out the liquid. You could do this also if you were using carrots and things, but we haven't popped carrots into these because we are watching the starch portion. Because we're using flour, obviously. We want to make sure that you can enjoy more than one of these. Half a cup. No, so might be too much, but let's just see. Let's have a look. So 3 of these sort of smallish baby marrows makes about half a cup. Squeeze if you like. Yeah. I happen to have a piece of muslin, but you can use whatever sort of thin cloth you have at home. And it's just a trick to.
And if you haven't yet acquired a cloth of any sort, you can do it between sheets of paper towel. Just use a fairly strong paper towel so you don't have half the paper sticking into the marrows.
Or even just your hands. Just gets a little bit more tricky and messy, but it's just really to get as much moisture out as you can. And then you can still save any of this juice and pop it into a smoothie or whatever, because it's just packed full of vitamins and minerals and that sort of thing. So nice little green juice or something like that. So there, I've given it a good squeeze. There's a whole bunch of juice that's popped out.
We'll just wait till it squeeze it.
The pro.
No, you don't want a gummy muffins.
You want them to be light and fluffy.
You're stronger than me.
Oh no, give it a good squeeze. Oh, there we go. It actually got a bit more.
There you go.
Okay, well, you can pop it in there. Let's have a look here. Oh, some more combinations there. Yeah, sun-dried tomatoes and feta. We were also looking at that as an option. So we were thinking sun-dried tomatoes and a bit of basil and all of that. But last week we cooked a lot in one session. So yeah, we're going to have to keep improving this and keep showing you some more options. But again, you can use the base recipe and add your own flavor combinations. All right, to that, so we've got our baby marrows. You can pop our cottage cheese in there. And then anyone that's starting to get to know me by now on these live videos knows that I really love chili and lemon. So they pretty much feature in most of my dishes.
Even some lemon zest in here would be lovely.
Yeah. I don't know how. Well, not that much more actually. I'll let you decide how much you think you'd like to pop in there. I'll probably whack a whole bunch in there, but I'll probably be the only one eating them.
Running for the fridge.
There we go. So you can pop in some chilies.
Some basil.
And then yeah, we've got some nice fresh basil also from the garden. Smells so good. Oh. And with summer coming now, these herbs are just, it's so good to just stock up and have these, you know, you can buy those little pots of woolies and Pick and Pay. I've got one here, actually, there's an extra. But these are so nice to have on your windowsill, or like us, we've got in our greenhouse, growing all the different flavors, all the different plants, you know, sage, thyme, rosemary, all those kinds of things. It's so nice to have a little bit of fresh herbs on hand.
Yeah, I'm just popping in a little bit of thyme. It's so young and soft and beautiful that it's lovely to put in.
You don't need a lot, you know. Just subtle things. So there goes our basil. And then some more of our herbamare salt.
Seasoning.
And some pepper. Some spice there.
Right, and that's it. So it looks absolutely divine before we mix it.
Oh, it's smelling so good in here. Just make some space. Nice, a little bit messy here, but that's all good. That's where you're making the good stuff. So again, just gently folding through the mixture. See some more comments coming through here. Looks really amazing. Angie must be online. How's it, Kim and Mom? How's it, Angie? My sister's logging in. Yes, you're definitely gonna have to come for a taster later. Okay, so let's make a little bit of space there.
You can do the honors.
Right, so we have greased this really well to make sure they don't get stuck. You can't go wrong with a nice layering of either. I think for this one we used a little bit of a coconut spray with any spray and cook, or you can rub a little bit of butter into the ramekin. So into that we'll just spoon these.
Well, see how you get 6 of it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not flattening them out. I'm leaving them quite light and loose. There we go. And then we'll give these guys over here, thanks to our friendly suggestions, a little sprinkling of paprika.
Stunning.
Right, little swap balls. This is a green powerhouse machine. Flavor. Sorry, my kids are homesick from school today. We did gallivant up to the snow yesterday, but they've had snotty noses today. And with the scare of COVID and everything, you know, can't really risk anything. So they are sitting behind the scenes here watching patiently as to what we're getting up to in the kitchen.
What they can eat shortly.
Yeah. But that's life, eh? Working moms managed to fit it all in our stride. There's a lot more on this side.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the spinach
that's buttered up.
These look so good. Here we go. Right, so I'll give you a little look at that. Yeah, so we've got on the one side baby marrow, cottage cheese, chili, bit of paprika and some herbs. And the other side we've got spinach, feta, and red pepper with a bit of spring onion. Yeah, so we're going to pop those into the oven. Set the timer for 25 minutes, and those are going in at 180 degrees. But yeah, we're running out of time to show you how those are going to look when they're cooked.
Just check that with a little wooden skewer or whatever you want to use, just to check that they are. In fact, just a gentle touch on the top of the muffins when you poke your hand in. If it springs back underneath your fingertips, it's done.
Yeah, and
if it stays dented in, then it needs a little longer.
And just show you again from earlier for anyone that signed in a little late. We've got these beautiful muffins here. Nice color. Yeah, and really delicious looking on the inside. I don't know if you can see this layers of spinach and everything in there, and the chunky cheese. But my golly, those were delicious for breakfast this morning.
They freeze really well if they are around long enough to go in the freezer.
So, yeah, a nice little tip as well, if you do make a big batch, just to save you some time, because as you can see, it took quite quick to mix it up. You can bake quite a lot, and then you just wait for them to cool completely before putting them in a Tupperware and before storing them in the freezer. Otherwise, they can go a little bit gummy from all the moisture. So leave them to cool completely if you haven't eaten them all by then, and that way they'll store really nicely. You can warm them in the oven, you can pop them in the air fryer, you can pop them in the microwave to have them a little heated. And yeah, that's a winner little breakfast, a little lunch snack. The protein combination, well, the protein portions and fat portions on these, each muffin works out to half of fat, half of protein, and half of starch. So even on one of our simpler plans, the low carb plans, that means you can have 2 of these beauties for breakfast and fit into your plan.
You can also do the option of doing like we've done. Instead of making one batch, just put whatever you like in 2 different batches, so you've got a variety in one bake.
And we've got some people chatting here. Baby Mary is one of your favorites. Nancy, those spinach ones, I think. Spinach ones look great. I might be able to put my glasses on. We will share the recipe. I will type up the recipe cards, and I will send pictures of all of these that have come out of the oven, just to show you how they all turned out. So just keep, I'll post those a little bit later this afternoon in our Jeff Nourish page as well. Amber, sure, pull in. Amber lives around the corner from me, so she's welcome to come for lunch.
Hurry up.
Yeah, you better hurry up.
It's waiting.
Between me, Mom, and the boys here, yeah, you better dash over. The recipe will be posted a little bit later, and it will also be posted in the library on your app as well. And Charlene looks absolutely yummy. Yeah, definitely a lunch option. Lunch, breakfast,
yeah.
You know, fit it into your lifestyle, fit it into your nutrition plan, but full of really like delicious ingredients, as much as you can, you know, keeping it whole sort of
wholesome.
Yeah.
And also, if you're dashing to fetch kids and you haven't had a chance to eat anything, rather than grab something else that you shouldn't have, pop one in the car on your road trip for the moms.
It's nice to have muffins on standby, but obviously a lot of the ones in the shops are very heavily laden in oil and lots of refined sugars and those sorts of things with like way too much cheese in that. So you're not really doing yourself the biggest favor having those. By making your own, and it takes quick, I mean, in 30 minutes here we managed to mix up 2 different batches along with chatting to you all, and bomb, they're in the oven. So yeah, another easy step to to bake, prepare, and have these things on standby to make them fit into your day, and there's no excuses for skipping meals. All right, well, I think that's it from us. It's 1 o'clock. We're going to sign off now. Yeah.
You can see me yet.
No, I think that
No.
impatience. Yeah, it's starting to really smell really nice in the kitchen. Mom, thanks again for coming and joining us for the cook.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a lot of fun having Mom here for, I think, 3 sessions. So yeah, but hopefully when she's back from Joburg, we'll get her back here to come and have some fun in the kitchen with us.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, but otherwise, tips and tricks are always welcome. I hope you all have a fabulous Monday. It's the start of a new week, so hopefully you had a great weekend, and you're going to soldier through this week. And yeah, that's it. That's
End
it.
of Women's Month
Yes.
as well, so I hope you all enjoyed that.
It ends tomorrow, so make the days count that you've got left to earn those Mom or Women's Day points with whoever's in your household. Yeah, and that's it from us. Thanks, ladies. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in to come and support us. And the recipes will be loaded soon. So happy baking.
Have a lovely day. Cheers, and thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.